Salutations, respected viewers. This is George from Ireland. Here I am in London. Behind me, you can see the house where William Butler Yeats resided for the years leading up to 1919. W.B. Yeats is one of Ireland's most celebrated writers. So he was born in Dublin and grew up there, but a lot of his relatives came from County Sligo. He had strong associations with Drumcliff, where his grandfather had been the Church of Ireland rector, and indeed Yeats is interred in the churchyard there. So Yeats never went near a university and hardly went to school. So he left schooling in his mid-teens. Nevertheless, he was a very accomplished poet. So he grew up in a somewhat bohemian atmosphere in late Victorian Ireland, and despite being a Dublin Protestant, he embraced the Republican cause, joined the Irish Republican Brotherhood, which is a clandestine revolutionary organisation dedicated to completely separating Ireland from Great Britain. However, he never risked his hide in combat, anything like that. He was briefly chairman of the Irish Republican Brotherhood, which according to the IRB made him president of the Irish Republic. Of course, the Irish Republic didn't exist except in the minds of IRB members. But anyway, he's better known as a literary figure, and he's part of that modernist movement. His verse is sparse, simplistic, not too many classical allusions. So there was this late 19th century movement where they're no longer trying to imitate the writers of ancient Greece and ancient Rome. So he fell hopelessly in love with Maud Gonne, who was an upper-class Irish woman. Really, she had English origins, but she wanted nothing to do with him, and she married John McBride, though they split very young, and she moved to Paris, raised a son, Sean McBride, who was later Foreign Minister of the Republic of Ireland. So Yeats was living in Dublin in 1916. He knew many of the leading figures in the Easter Rising, and he wrote about them. Vivid faces, I've seen them coming from the 19th century houses and so on. A terrible beauty is born. That's how he summarized the Easter Rising. There's a fantastic series of poems of his, Meditations in Time of Civil War, about the Irish Civil War 1922 to 23. Then the Irish Free State was founded, so that's the major portion of Ireland became independent, and he was a senator. And he said that the Protestants of the south of Ireland were no petty people, and we shouldn't have a law against divorce because it was discriminatory against the Protestant minority. Despite that, the law was passed. So Yeats moved to France in the 1930s, and indeed he died there. He was buried on the Mediterranean coast of France just before the Second World War broke out. His body was exhumed and then brought back to Ireland in the 1950s. So that's W.B. Yeats, a winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature, who, like so many Irishmen, spent some of his early adulthood here. So well worth reading up on Yeats if you want to know a little bit about Irish poetry, romantic movement, and looking into the occult. These are the things which enthused him.